Hi, Toby. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Doing great. So, how do you feel being in one of the most watched videos, I think, of the millennial generation? Because if they weren't rewatching Labyrinth, they were at least going and just rewatching Magic Dance over and over and over again.
I love it. I'm so proud to be a part of that, even though I was a baby. I was like, I didn't really know what was going on, but it's amazing. It's truly wonderful. And what's been wonderful is to experience and talk to people throughout the generations for many years as they come up and go, I love Labyrinth. This is amazing. Like it changed my life and it helped me through so many things. And I watched it constantly. I was like, that's great. Like that's what a movie should do. And the fact that it stands that test of time and it's still going strong
Mhm.
for many audiences and many, many, many generations now. It's great. I'm so proud of it.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because I told my mom, I was like, "Oh, I'm doing some interviews for Labyrinth. I'm really excited because it's one of my favorite movies." And I remember how I got in possession of my Labyrinth VHS, but I didn't
Yeah.
remember that she said every time I wanted to watch it, my dad was like, "Okay, we'll watch Labyrinth," and like would just sit and watch it with me, even
Oh.
though he had clearly seen it like a million times, but he kept watching Labyrinth.
Yep.
But it is one of those movies that I think it doesn't matter what age you are, like where you come into it, you kind of are obsessed with this world that like Henson and everyone built. For you, go watching this movie now, like as an adult and through the adult lens, because obviously you were a baby in it. How do you kind of react to the movie as an adult?
I love it. I think it's really I watch it for the different reasons and different things. And I did watch it a lot growing up as well. That was the interesting. I so loved watching it. And it wasn't the fact that I was in it at all. It was the creatures. It's the costumes. It's the puppets. I grew up with that surrounding me with my parents' art and everything. So that was it just felt normal. It felt like home when I saw it. So that was a big thing. And then growing as an adult and watching it, you take away so many other aspects that are adult, the adult themes that run through it. As you grow up and as you experience the world, you can go back to that movie and go, yes, and this is how I should navigate it, or this is how I really shouldn't navigate it, and this is I have to be cautious and all these things. I think it gives an audience member all the tools to be able to, to withstand the world in a lot of ways. And I think that's what people bring out of it. They grow with that movie. When you watch it as a kid, you love the characters and you see certain things. And when you watch it as a teenager and as an adult, you take away so many others. And I love that. I think the
Yeah,
fact that
and
it
it
changes with you.
yeah, and have it how has it kind of helped you grow? Because I know you're an artist. Like, how has it helped you kind of being around all of that creativity and art at such a young age and then continuing to grow with it as you've, like you said, like keep going back to Labyrinth?
Yeah, I think it's always it's what I strive to build or create, or it's what you're seeing on screen is character. What you're seeing is like real things come to life on, through a lens that if you could reach through, you could touch them. They physically exist. That's what we always strive to do in our art, and what I've always tried to do in any project I'm a part of is to make something that's believable for the medium it's in. That's what we strove to do for the Dark Crystal TV show as well. Like making those puppets feel real once again, just making people believe in the magic. That's what the heart of it is. And so that's what my family has always tried to do with everything we create. Hopefully it works. And the stories that you pull from those things, those characters and those meetings are the magic. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love like the Dark Crystal TV show. I love so much because I just kept calling them the ski skis because you just go like
Yes,
ski skis, ski skis. And I was like,
absolutely.
they're the ski skis. But I
Yeah.
think that's also, the magic of like the Henson Company and just getting to see these that like it doesn't matter what age you are, there's still like a joy. Like right before the pandemic, I saw like this Muppet show that they do at 54 Below, and a man
Yes.
brought Kermit out with the banjo and I was crying and I was like, I want to see Kermit. I want to go and fight. And it's just like that magic that a Henson production kind of has sticks with you no matter what age you are. For you, is there something Labyrinth specific or just any Henson character that has that reaction to you where you get to really see and connect with a character and still love him no matter what age you are?
Mm. Um, many, I'm sure. But I mean, Kermit and Gonzo for me are my favorites in the Muppet world.
Yeah, Gonzo.
Stage, you're right, is magic because
Mhm.
he's absolutely real. He's there, he's singing to you, and he'll make thousands and thousands of people cry all at once. It's amazing. The storyteller dog from the storyteller series, I loved him. He was so wonderful, like absolute character. You know, Ludo from the Labyrinth. You know, you always want a Ludo by your side if you could. I and then I mean the Skeksis, the Chamberlain for me was always an amazing character. So those characters throughout anything, I mean, and many more, but those are the ones that stand out. They're characters. They are fully fledged things that exist. I know they're real. They're elsewhere in some world somewhere, um, but they're certainly not puppets. They really aren't. That's the beauty of what Henson's has always done and continues to do, is create characters that you believe in and magic that you can touch. I think that's important for this world, especially at this time in this world that we live in.
Mhm.
It's if you can find something like that, the audience is going to love it.
As a Gonzo and uh, Fozzie Bear girl, I do appreciate the the Gonzo shout out because he is the
Yeah,
best.
oh, yeah, and Dave Goles is amazing for that. So yeah, it was always a
Yeah, I love it so much. For a last sort of question, I think Labyrinth is, to this day, like every time I loved David Bowie prior to Labyrinth because of my family, but then like getting to see him as Jareth is life changing. He has changed many people's lives as the Goblin King. But for you, what has it been like looking back and seeing yourself as a baby in something like this? Is that something that you kind of separate completely from your mind to enjoy? Or do you see yourself as Toby when you're watching that?
I see myself, and I've grown up. I think growing up with the knowledge and just the idea, people saying hi Toby, like, and knowing who I was weirdly was a very strange thing. But I think for me it just became it's very natural to see me in that situation. I don't, and I know it's me. I can see that, I think. But the fact that I'm being held by David Bowie is a very weird thing. Like, and Jennifer Connelly, like, I haven't met them since. I've never met, and I never got to meet David before he passed. So like those things are very strange. But I was a huge fan of his growing up. And his, all of his music was amazing. And that guy was an absolute legend. So to be a part of something like that is I mean, mind blowing. I love it. I'm very honored by it.
I do hope now that you go and meet Jennifer Connelly, but you wear the striped pajamas. She first thinks you're crazy, and then you're like, actually, I'm Toby.
Yeah,
It's
right,
just
exactly. When I was like, I'm Toby, I don't know whether I know. I've only worn one. I wore a one stripy top once when we were rehearsing something at Elstree Studios. It was the first time I'd been back to the studios where we filmed Labyrinth. Many years later, and I did walk in wearing red and white stripes because I was working with some of the crew that worked on the film, so it was very funny.
I do it. Thank you so much for talking with me. Like I said, Labyrinth is one of my favorite movies of all time, so it was a
Hey.
joy to talk to you.
Oh, it's lovely to talk to you. Thank you.
A great one.